Hey everyone, it's Tavy, aka TAVYDHF. So in my last video, I labeled it what I want to really truly delve into in this video. And I appreciate you all for watching the previous videos and the likes and shares. You know, I won't find out about the shares until I get like my monthly overview of the channel's progress, but I appreciate y'all. I know what you do. I know when you try to help, and I know when you're against me. So I want to talk about, you know what? Let me ring the bell. Let me ring the bell first. Y'all, I am so done with ash from this instance. Like, I just be fed up. But, you know, incense, Palo Santo, sage, anything, just the amount of ash, I just be, I'm just like, I don't want to say fed up with it, but I'm over it. So, I know it helps tremendously, but like, I get to a point where I'm like, I got ash on everything. Why? And it just ticks me off. Because, you know, the aesthetics of it, you know what I mean? And then I just be like, man, whatever. Because I've had it up to here, right? But I'm not just a girl in the world. No, that ain't me. Anyway, men believe what their eyes see. Now, what trips me out about that statement is you could be right in their darn face day after day, Monday through Friday. Okay? Year after year after year, decades. This could even be your husband, right? I'm just throwing it out there because I just keep recognizing it and seeing it over and over again. Men believe, okay, y'all, I live near the military base, so loud ass military helicopters going by. Ooh, okay, another one. Longest thing don't hit no planes near the airport because I live near DC, you know. It ain't funny but shit, I mean, I was hearing those helicopters so often right before that crash, I kept worrying about it because it was affecting my energy as you know, because I'm an energy reader. I read energy, and it just didn't feel right. It was something about what was happening. It was either last minutes. It wasn't planned, it wasn't scheduled, and they would just be, boom, we're taking off. Because of whatever rush decision someone had made. It's like I could sense that. I could feel it. Y'all know the military is very, military bases are very, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't want to say sorcery, or I want to say, okay, the military, you know, that is the protection going all the way up, right? Because federal agents, they basically become enlisted. Goddamn it, you enlisted. You don't know that shit though until after you work there. You know, you take your pledge and your oath and everything. And you get your badge, right? And you sitting there like, what the hell just happened? Yeah, you just enlisted, goddammit. But it's a different level of military service, I should say. It's a different service. They call it the government service, right? GS, right? Unless you're foreign service, FS. In the military, they got other rankings and such, but it's like I could feel it. It's very ethereal. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It's a metaphysicalness to the land that I sense and I can pick up on, and everything seems so strategically maneuvered. But what they have done is, when these men and women enlist into the military and they go to be programmed, basically, for lack of a better word, because I've not been in the military, physically. Spiritually, that's another subject. But physically, when they put you what is it called? Boot camp? You enroll and you go to boot camp, right? I believe that's the first thing they do. And then they break them down and they build them back up. It's like a institutionalization of the mind. Okay, you learned what you learned at the institution called school, and then you grew up. And now you if you enlist in the military, they break you down and institutionalize you in that situation, in that way. So, people are weird. The military is not, the military is weird. The military is functional based off of Mother Gaia, but they don't want you to know or see that. But I can feel it. Not so much as like Phil Collins, I can feel it in the air tonight. No, not like that. Because I read energy. It's not an energy weapon. It's not fucking electricity. Okay? It's not microwaves. It's just a sensing, an intuitiveness. It's like, what is it? For lack of a better word, a cord that I still have, that I've maintained to my higher self that was wherever she was before she came onto this planet. And it's like, those are, when you're in that other realm previously, before you enter this realm, you feel it as a calling to birth or rebirth. I don't know if you believe in reincarnation, but being birthed, right? It's a calling. That's why some children pass away. They weren't ready yet. They just sensed or felt the calling. Or that parent, that couple, that set of parents, right? Because whether they marry or not, they're the parents. Created a child, but that child's soul wasn't prepared or ready yet. Yeah, it's because it has to be a calling. It's ethereal, metaphysical. It has to be a calling first. Now I made this too long. I'm gonna keep going now. This one just gonna have to be a long one. Y'all get a twofer. You get a twofer. So divine feminine, divine masculine, divine beings, because that's what's allowed on this channel for this message, for this topic. Because I'm not talking to karmics, I'm not speaking to karmics. Karmics cannot understand or even pretend to comprehend what I'm about to discuss. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, because more than half of them reprobate. More than half of them can't even think, right? They're so used to, I always say functioning, and then I correct myself and say malfunction, right? Because I know what I know. The malfunctioning of humanity. Why is that? Deceit. So, men believe what their eyes see, right? We've got envy here. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. But is that really true? Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So someone, or the military, or the all-seeing eye. When I look at this, that's what I see. The all-seeing eye. The powers that be. The authorities that are above the authorities. Above the authorities. If you know what I mean and what I'm saying. Hashtag no conspiracy. Be open-minded about what I'm talking about, because I keep running into this. So I just figure I'm going to just talk about it and put it out there. The envious, because they can do what you can do, but they can't. Can they truly do what you can do, collector? Because I often wonder. I sit back and I'm like, if they can do what I can do, what in the heck are they envious of me for? You know what I'm saying? Because where would the envy come from? If you truly believe I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. You don't believe that. You want success by any means necessary, envious. And then you think it's funny. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. And then, ha ha ha, laugh now, cry later bullshit after you ruin people's relationships, okay? Neighbors, community, workplace, family, husbands and wives, spouses, things of that nature. And then you call it for the good of relationship health. Now, what am I saying? Remember when I said that title of the last video was what I'm discussing in this video, which is that men believe what their eyes see. And then I started discussing in this video, you could be in their face every day for 14 years, 21 years, 6.5+ years, and they will choose to believe what they see with their two eyes when they lay down to rest their heads. And notice I didn't say sleep, because some of these people don't think that they're sleeping. Okay. Over what's been in their face and what they can tangibly touch, okay, and see with their own hands. So the powers that be, it's like they manipulate the relationship so you can get into a relationship, and then they manipulate the relationship for you to behave the way they want you to behave. And then they think it's funny because they envy or they're jealous of the love that you can have and or receive from whom you're with. So then they put out their illusions. They put out their delusions, water delusions, illusions, the principalities of the air. That's the same thing as satellites. GPS tracking is a satellite, right? When you connect your GPS, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. We're going to cut off that energy now. So we got 4 of Cups, not interested, please. You're not interested in this type of mentality, even though you understood that it's a party place. 3 of Cups. You understood that it was a collaboration, right? Most likely with the Emperor, or an Emperor, or it's an Emperor, because this card has the crown. So this is someone in a high authority position that was collabing with this foolishness here. Believe what your eyes see in your dream state. And then everything that you do and or see and or interact with in the daytime when you're awake, or should I say when you're awake, when you feel as though you're awake, all you do is manipulate that. Just manipulate that. What else, Spirit? They believe what their eyes see for money. So these are people who were deciding to pick money or the incoming of their money. And you knew about this, right? That these men, these masculines in or around your family, your neighborhood, these friends, families of yours, they didn't want to collab with you. but they wanted to collab with others and an emperor for money. An emperor energy and an authority figure, right? And then do this what they call themselves trying to hide, right? With the moon. They call themselves trying to hide it with the moon. This believe what they see when they dream and sleep at night. So that you can be connected to the happy family. Happy? She's the happiest girl around. But was she? No, she wasn't. I'm just trying to make you happy. No, you was just trying to make me mother freaking delusional and a doofus like your ass. So that you can make money. But you felt the need to continue to lie to yourself and to lie to me and others, right? Collective. And claim that you were trying to make your wife happy. Really, you didn't decide. You didn't pick. You had a decision, right? And your decision became money. Not your wife, not your spouse, not the person you're in a relationship with. No. It was about money. And you wanted to keep this hidden. And you think that your significant other didn't know. I knew. That's why I keep looking at every man you keep sending my way. Sus. And definitely don't you send no stank ass PUSSY this way. Okay? King of Wands. King of Wands trying to burden you. It's under judgment. Because he just wants to hold on tight. Hold on tight with this Four of Pentacles. Because this person is pretending to be you. And or me, collective. And then this heavy burdens is, let's make this person miserable so I can laugh. Let's cause this person some pain with heavy burdens so I can laugh. Because it makes me feel better about living in this earthly realm. Let's destroy this person, right? See? Grief and sorrow away, he's doing magic. The King of Wands. He is the grief and sorrow way. When I say way. Say you had a family member pass on. Grief and sorrow way. He's the magician of that. Okay, so now your grief and sorrow is going to lead you to do what? With the Fool card coming out here. It's almost like, what would you do? Right? What would you do? Now that song, we know that song from What Would You Do for, that ice cream bar. But it's not so much that as much as it's Willy Wonka. What would you do? Remember Mr. Wonka was singing that? What would you do? What would you do? He was just watching everyone to see what they would do. Doesn't he wear a top hat? Yeah. Don't think I'm wrong about what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about. Because grief and sorrow is like, who the F are you to leave me? But how many of your family members have passed on and they left you out of this action of grief and sorrow way? They closed your pathway to grief and sorrow. It's been blocked. It's been given to other people, pick-me's and people pleasers. So who was the fool? It was the top hat wearer who doesn't want anyone else to be on top of him. It was that King of Wands in this magician hat, in this top hat. Was it top cat? I don't know. But guess what? You're moving on, collective. You're starting Stable Avenue, and it's justice. It's about time. Because you recognize that all of this stuff here, the grief and sorrow pathway, was just something shady. It was just something shady. That the magician, King of Wands here, and the King of Pentacles, most likely your spouse, right? Or wannabe spouse, was concocting or had concocted in your life to make you be forced to live a certain lifestyle. And they're getting a tower. They're getting a tower. Hang on. I keep touching this camera. I want to make sure y'all can see the cards. I don't know why. I just do. What would you do? Yeah, not for a Klondike bar. Just what would you do? Not for the TV show. I know what the problem is. This is slippery, so we're going to have to move this. This is too slippery, so let me hang on to this for a minute. Let's move that there. Is that better? Well, the post fell down. Has nothing to do with the tarot reading here. That just slipped off. What would you do? What would you do? Right? Because this person's miserable, right? But at the same time, they're not just miserable in this earthly realm. They chose to be here. They chose to be on the earthly realm. Malfunctioning in the frequencies and with the principalities of the air, with grief and sorrow. Claiming that they're happy. No. This is my happily fulfilled place. As long as I can continue to have one night stands. I gotta have the one night stands. And then I gotta include my homies and stuff, right? I gotta include them. Yeah, because they just make a mess of things. Wow, as I split the deck, conflict gardens. They're just making a mess of things. Competition, chaos, confusion. They creating a ball of confusion, or should I say, they're keeping it going. Why? Because that's what they want. That's what they want. And then they lie and tell people, no, I'm going to leave it all behind. I know it's something better out there for me, but can they really and truly walk away? Can they? Can they walk away with the strength card coming out? I'm not even going to say what the next card was. I'm not going to say it. My point is, you would be surprised to know that this is your government. This is what your federal government agencies are sitting around working on. That's what they're sitting around working on. Playing with the devil, the principality, playing with the masculine that controls the airwaves. Okay? All of these damn towers out here. When the rich people buy their homes, they don't want to live near no towers. Why? Because if your pockets run deep, they can see the difference between the personality types of the people that don't have deep pockets being affected by the cell towers, the electrical towers, what else is out there nowadays? Who knows? Wi-Fi, internet, I already said cell phone. You know, all of these towers, especially these power lines, right? No, they're aware of that. They don't discuss it. They don't discuss it. But we all have watched all of them $1 million home selling shows. We all have watched those, right? We've been made aware. Yeah. So this is your justice. You're going to be starting stable with Ace of Pentacles, and that's going to be your justice. Same for me. I accept that for myself. I receive it and believe it in the name of the Most High God. And they're having a tower with their false smiles, happily fulfilled place of one night stands. That's just, wow. I heard fancy pants. Fancy pants. Grief and sorrow away. So this person is not just my way or the highway. This is grief and sorrow away. This is not the person my way or the highway. But like I started out with, these men only believe what their eyes see in the evening. Why? Claiming that it's for your relationship health. oh no, this is going to keep us together. This is going to keep, we're going to be soulmates. You're going to end up being soulmates with whom? Someone who keeps pouring out their love that they have for you, as if your cup of love for them doesn't overflow. That's the kind of relationship you want? That's the kind of relationship you want? Where you're constantly giving and the other person is taking and then pouring out their cup of love for you for money? Because the delusions and the illusions that they see in their dreams in the evening or whenever they rest their head. This could also have some way or something in relation to people who work the graveyard shift. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. And unfortunately, the powers that be that are envious of you and your love and your light. I don't know where light came from. Love and light. Oh, the love and light. Okay. So they're mad that you're actually truly this person. Or that's how they see you. So they want to have success by any means necessary. I'm going to laugh. So I'm going to cause them relationship issues and claim that it's going to keep them healthy. I'll honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Wow. Meanwhile, in their soul, because when you go to sleep, you're not conscious. You're what? Subconscious. Subconscious is your what? Your soul is meandering, is roaming, is lost, shall I say? God forbid I say. Why they go choose other randoms and pick-me's for one-night stands, for grief and sorrow way. So grief and sorry. Why did I say that? Must have something to do with it, the nature of it. Yeah, lies. That's what I have for y'all. I had to just talk about it. I'm just not going to continue to live through, master through malfunctioning people surrounding me in my neighborhoods. When you think back on past relationships and you heal, and what growth did you come, what aspects of knowledge did you learn from the lessons and the interactions you had with that person? I'm going to put it out there for everybody to know. Okay? Especially the next generation. Y'all, peace. Thanks for tuning in. Namaste.